you again and to talk to you again about one of my favorite topics, which is online courses. I love the online course business. It's paid me really, really well over the years. And it's also a source of recurring income that just keeps coming in no matter what. So I love that about this business. And I love also that I get to teach from my experience. I get to teach from, stand by one second. There we go. And so by doing that, you're able to live out your purpose and live out and fulfill your dreams, right? Because you get to actually be yourself. What a concept. It's a business where you can be yourself and you can serve people at the highest levels, and you can serve people from your real world experiences and your real world training and your real world skills. So I hope everybody here has already dug into the training that we dripped out on yesterday. And it should already be a part of your account if you were already in the Elite Mastermind bundle. So I hope you dug into the training, and that's where we got into even more detail on fleshing out how you set up your outline, how you create your course, how you set up your Canva, thumbnail for your mastermind course, and how you actually upload your mastermind course. Now, we do have some people in the audience that are kind of wondering, okay, I love this idea. I love the idea of putting my knowledge, my skills, my experience into a course, right? And so today I just wanted to come on here really quick and just share with you, how do you come up with a course topic? Because not everybody maybe has a course topic yet. Some of you might be wondering, okay, what can I create a course on? What qualifies me to make a course? Why, or out of all the different things I could do, what can I create a topic on? So I'm going to go through something that I call the, what are your superpowers? It's kind of like I call it the superpower inventory. And what this allows you to do is kind of brainstorm to yourself some of the many different experiences you've had in life. And hopefully it helps to pique your memory about, oh yeah, I was really good at this, or oh yeah, in that job I got complimented for this. And there's so many different things you could build a course around. So today I want to just kind of go into that a little bit more detail and share with you the superpower inventory. So let me go ahead and share my screen here and show you that superpower inventory and what it looks like. Make sure I've got the right page here. There it is. All right, so you should be able to see my screen, and you should be able to see where it says, what are your superpowers, right? And so what I want to do with you today is understand that these questions are designed to really just pull out some of these experiences, some of these skills, some of your knowledge, to be able to determine what can you create a course on. And by the way, you're not limited to one course, right? This is the guy who created 80 courses. You're not limited to one course. And I think what you're going to find is when you create a course and you start making your first sales and you start impacting those first people, you're going to get hooked just like I got hooked. And by the way, this is a really positive addiction, because this addiction allows you to impact the world as well as make a good income. So let's take a look at this. And like I said, I'm going to keep it really short today, but I do want to come on here every week, ideally, and just help you through some of the things that will be the good starting points to get you off to the fast start. So you're going to have access to this. We're going to provide access to this document so you can go ahead and print it out, fill it out yourself. Once again, I'm a big believer in the handwritten, the power of handwriting, and the power of being able to use mind and body together. So I recommend that you actually handwrite your answers to these questions. And so I want to go through this with you and kind of brainstorm with you along the way. So the first question is, what do you love to do? What is that talent or skill that you really, really enjoy? Okay. Like for me, even though I'm 56, I love skateboarding, right? Now, I'm not sure I would create a course about skateboarding, but I could, for example, create a course about the early days of skateboarding. When I was coming up, there was a lot of things being pioneered, a lot of new things happening, A lot of the things that skateboarders do today were originated back then, that kind of thing. So I could do something like the history of skateboarding, for example. But all these things, what you want to do is kind of judge them in the light of how, oh, stand by 1 second. Let me make sure I'm recording here. Hold on 1 second. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what are your superpowers. And this document is going to help you to understand different things you can create courses on. And the most important thing to understand is once you do your first course and you start to impact people and you start to make money with it, you're going to be hooked just like I was. And so here, what we're talking about is these different questions that are designed to jog your memory, jog your understanding of what you can create a course on. So what do you love to do? What is that talent or skill that you have that very few people also have? What is that talent or skill that people look up to you because you're so good at it? Have you ever had somebody pay you a compliment and say, wow, just the way you communicate with people, the way you reach out to people is so amazing. You know, now I may not have ever gotten that compliment, but you might have, right? Or people might say, oh, wow, I love the way you just always have this great countenance about you. You've always got this great smile on your face. What's your secret? If anybody's ever asked you, what's your secret? Chances are that's probably a pretty good course topic, okay? Now, in future versions of this training, we're going to be talking about how to determine market demand for your course. Because you don't want to just create a course, for example, on underwater basket weaving, and then find out there's really only 3 people in the world interested in that, right? And 2 of them are your parents, right? So you don't want to do that. So we're gonna further develop this idea over the weeks to come to go, okay, here's my ideas for a course. Here's how you determine the demand, the market demand for that course. So one question is, what do you love to do? Another question is, what did you love to do as a child or as a teen? What kind of skills, what kind of activities, what kind of things did you love to do? And oftentimes, like for example, for me, skateboarding, right? I may not create a course about skateboarding. You know, I can't imagine that somebody would want to learn from a 56-year-old skateboarder, right? Unless they're also in their 50s and they're picking it back up. But that's a limited market. But what kinds of things did skateboarding teach me? Right? Now I could start to go, okay, here's answer to question number 2. What did I love to do as a child? Skateboarding. And how can I apply those lessons maybe to a personal development course so that people can relate my stories of learning how to do skateboarding tricks to their personal development? So you see what you can do with the answers to these questions is you can start to mix and match them to create an amazing course based on your real stories, based on your real examples, based on your real experiences. So for example, I like to teach this all the time, and that is entrepreneurship is a lot like skateboarding. Entrepreneurship, you get up and you fall. You get up and you fall. You try something and you don't make it all the way. You try something and you're almost there. You try something and then you make it. And then you try something and you make it even higher out of the pool or whatever, right? So I like to explain that the same way that we learn a skateboarding trick is the same way that we learn anything. We start out slow, we build our way up, we build our skills up, we stretch ourselves. Yes, sometimes we fall, but we keep going and then we make it. And then once we make it, we master it, right? So that's an example of how you could take something like what you love to do as a kid and incorporate it into a course. This may not be the course, but it may be something you incorporate into the course. That's how I would like you to use this document here, the What Are Your Superpowers documents. Number 3 is, what are you great at? What are you great at right now? And really sit down and think. Take some time, you know, like on a Saturday morning, or take some time when you're completely free. Your brain is completely free and completely at peace. You know, ideally, like for me, it's first thing in the morning when I wake up, and I can have a cup of coffee and I can sit outside if the weather is nice and I can just start writing, right? Or come upstairs to my desk and just start writing. And really just whenever that most creative moment is for you, for some people it's at night, for some people it's daytime, right? Whenever it is for you, take that time and really sit down and answer these questions. What are you great at? The next question is, what skills have you learned on various jobs? Okay. Now, it may be that at one point you were managing a team of 20 people. It may be that at one point you learned how to manage conflict. It may be that at one point you learned how to be super productive in a particular job because you had to. What are those experiences that stretched you such that you could now teach on those experiences, right? Have you ever built a team of people? Like in a previous job or previous business, I built a team of about 17 people. So I learned something about building a team. I learned something about dealing with different types of people, all that kind of thing, right? So be thinking about all these skills you've learned on various jobs and what from those skills can you teach on? Probably a lot of different things. Part of this is we've got to give ourselves credit. You've got to be willing to give yourself credit for what you've learned. You've got to be willing to give yourself credit for, yes, what I learned, don't dismiss it. What I learned is valuable to somebody. Okay? Think about that person that's just starting out in life. Think about that young kid just out of school. They're trying to get their feet wet in the world. They're trying to understand like how the world works. There's so much they could learn if they have the right mentor, right? There's so much they could learn even about this term called adulting, right? Where you learn how to be an adult, you learn how to pay bills, you learn how to connect services to your home, your apartment and whatnot. Even things like that, those are pretty popular topics. So my goal here today is to help you understand you can teach on just about anything. And this is going to help you to figure out, okay, what are those great things that I can teach on, that I can create a course on? Some of you already have an idea for a course, and this can be good to help you determine how to make your course even better, right? Just the idea that I gave you a little bit ago about how do those stories from being a child or a teen, how do those relate to what you're conveying today? The next one is, what kinds of things would you do even if you didn't get paid for it, right? What are those things that you would do just because you enjoy them so much? Now, the reason I like this question is because you now get to design your life. You now get to design how you make an income and how you live the rest of your life. When you're in the online course business, you have the ability now to create a course, a training on something you love to do. And isn't that the ideal scenario where you not only get to make an income doing what you love, teaching what you love, but it's an ongoing recurring income and it just keeps coming in? I mean, I can't think of a better, I'm very fulfilled. I get to coach and teach and help entrepreneurs because my mission ever since I was 19 years old was to do exactly that, was to be somebody that people could learn from, that people could benefit from, that I could encourage entrepreneurship at every level throughout the world. And I'm fortunate to say I've done that, and I'm continuing to do that, and I'm living out my purpose. And there's nothing happier for me in terms of career or business, right? Obviously, happier things are like my faith and my family and friends, right? But within the realm of career and business, I don't think you could get more fulfilled than helping other people with what you're good at. So you're in the right place. You're absolutely in the right place to learn that here at mastermind.com. It's amazing. The next question is, what do friends and family say you're great at? Because you might not give yourself credit for these things, but your friends and family are always raving about your ability to whatever it is, bake amazing cookies or create an amazing PowerPoint presentation or design a logo or whatever it is, whatever it is that you're good at. Maybe it's barbecuing. Maybe you're amazing. You're an amazing chef. Whatever it is, what do your family and friends say you're good at? And write that down. because again, sometimes we're going to be able to mix and match these topics and put potentially two very different topics together into a course that makes sense. I've done this, by the way, in coaching people who wanted to create a course. And in some of my students, I've helped them when I did like a one-on-one call with them. And I found out, oh, wow, do you know that you've got this skill and this skill, and you could put them together to create an amazing course, right? So let's look at this document not just as a singular idea, like I'm just looking for one idea, but also look at it as to how can you potentially combine two different markets and two different topics to create a super topic, to create a topic that will blow minds on both topics, on both ends of the spectrum. What if you learned a particular strategy as an entrepreneur that you used in the corporate world that created massive exponential results for that company, right? And because it came out of the world of entrepreneurship and you applied it in the corporate world, it blew up, and it was amazing because nobody in the corporate world had thought to do this, right? What if you did something like that? You're now creating your own hybrid concept or your own hybrid teaching from this. So I'm wanting to make sure that you've got the creative wheels turning here, and you're going, oh, wow, yeah. Okay, my friends and family say I'm great at this, and I really love doing this, and I have this experience in the career world, and I can put them all together and create something really amazing that's going to really impact people that want that information, right? The next question is, have you ever thought about writing a how-to book? Okay, and what topics have you thought about writing? If you've ever thought about writing a how-to book, then there you go. There's a perfect idea for a course. Some of you have lots of ideas for courses. Now, how can we refine and improve those ideas to make them again, like a super course, something where people just when they see it, they're like, wow, I want that. Have you ever solved a major problem in your life? Okay. What kind of major problem? You name it. You know, I coach people who have solved all kinds of problems, depression. They've solved suicidal thoughts. They've solved how to lose weight, healthy, right? A healthy way to lose weight. They've solved all kinds of major problems in their lives. Or they've dealt with difficult situations. They've dealt with difficult things. And now they can be the hope for other people who are going through those things, right? One of the things that I think makes me a good coach is that I can empathize with entrepreneurs at every different level they may be at, because I've been an entrepreneur all my life, right? And so wherever you are right now, I've probably been. And when I look at that, I'm not looking at like, never looking at it like, oh, I've been where you are, like looking down. I'm right there with you. Like I'm understanding exactly where you are. And because I've lived through it and I've been able to succeed through that, I can coach you out of that difficult situation, right? So there's a common phrase in authoring books and doing seminars. It's called turn your mess into your message, right? You want to turn your mess into your message. So if you've ever had a mess, if you've ever gone through something difficult, if you've ever gone through any kind of struggle, we all have, right? Then you can help people through that. And it's so fulfilling, by the way, when you do that. So super fulfilling. Every day I get to coach entrepreneurs, and I'm so excited that I get to do that, and I get to benefit them from the hard-earned experience, the actual real world experience that I've had. And it's so fulfilling when I see the aha and the breakthrough moment, show up on their face. That's such an amazing payoff to me to see that. Well, you can be doing the same thing in whatever major problem you've ever solved, or problems you've ever solved for people, or for yourself, I should say, and then help people with that. Now, have you ever figured out a way to do something better, cheaper, faster, or more efficiently? Here's an example, okay? I've got a course that I co-created with a gentleman by the name of Cy. Now, Cy was able to, he's one of my students, he was able to earn 2 bachelor's degrees and 1 master's degree without going into student debt, without any kind of loans, without any kind of financing, no debt. What he did was, because he knew he couldn't afford school, so what he did was he studied very difficult. Let me start over. He researched very carefully the whole system, of how you can get into college without going into student debt. And he did it. He did it twice with bachelor's degrees and once with a master's degree. And when he came into my sphere, like he joined my program, he was talking about how this course, how to get a debt-free college degree, how he had written a book and he wanted to create a course. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is an amazing topic. We should partner up on this. We should work together on this. And he agreed, and we created this course, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So if you've ever done anything like Cy has done, figured out a way to do something better, cheaper, faster, or more efficiently, right? He figured out how to get through college without any student debt. That's amazing, right? Then you've got the makings of a course. If you've ever figured out a unique, cool, interesting way to make money, or if you've ever just made money in a certain way, make money courses are great. That's the kind of the world that I come from, And so let me give you another example. I partnered with a gentleman who's doing, and I told this example in the other thing on Friday, partnered with a gentleman who was doing really well with this Amazon program for t-shirts. And because he was making such good money, we were able to really sizzle the income that he was making and show them that they could learn exactly from him what he was doing step by step. And so Mike and I put a course together, and he was able to show what he knew. Really all I did with him was I interviewed him. I asked some of those questions that we worked on the other day, those framework questions, right? Where you sit down and you ask, okay, what are all the questions somebody would have about this? So all I did was I interviewed Mike. I asked him each question. He answered each question, and I had him answer each question in a standalone statement. And what that means is, like if I said, hey, Mike, so how much have you made with the Merch by Amazon program? And he'd say, well, I've made X $100,000 a year. So I'd say, okay, now say that in a standalone statement. So then he would just say, I've made X $100,000 a year with Merch by Amazon, and I'm here to show you how I do it, right? Now we're able to cut that little piece of video, put it into the course, right? Same thing with every question. We just went through every question. I asked him those questions. He said them as standalone statements, and now that was the makings of a course. And then I added the PowerPoint side of it, where I explained kind of the theory of it. And now we had a great course that taught the theory of it and taught the real world of it at the same time. And we interspersed 2 clips to create an amazing course. So that's one way you can create like a course based on an interview format. You could just interview an expert, and then you could be the producer producing the course, add your 2 cents to it, and create an amazing course. So that's how we do that. Now, have you ever counseled or coached anyone to success? What were you able to help them with? So write down the answer to this one. Have you ever counseled or coached someone to success? Could be any kind of counseling. What if you counseled somebody on, not getting a divorce? What if you counseled somebody on the right way to pass a certain kind of test or certification? Have you ever tutored anybody? Is there something that you're just good at that you've been able to help people with, right? The next question is, are there particular ministries, community organizations, outreach organizations that you've been involved in where you made a difference for others, right? So I've been fortunate to volunteer for some organizations, my church, and as well as an organization in Los Angeles called Homeboy Industries, and just wherever my whatever means a lot to me. There's an organization called OUR, which is Operation Underground Railroad. I've been able to volunteer for them. Have you ever been involved in organizations like this and done some good that you can teach from? Maybe even just the explanation of how you were able to work with a nonprofit would be a course. Especially the bigger the nonprofit, maybe it's harder to get in, that kind of thing. Have you ever dealt in any way with like management issues, uh, hiring issues? Have you ever dealt with any of those things that corporate America is looking for, or the corporate world is looking for? Have you ever carefully vetted a recruit? Have you ever hired people, been in the hiring process? Do you know tricks and tips as to how to do that so you don't end up with an employee that just doesn't work out for you? Have you ever done any freelancing work, anything like that? So just be thinking like that. There's only a couple here left. What kind of things have you been able to overcome? Have you ever been able to overcome addictions or overeating or weight loss or ADHD or self-confidence issues? Any of these things, guess what? There are people in the world struggling with these things, and they need your help. They need your input. They need your coaching and your counseling through an online course. Have you ever thought, wow, there should be a documentary about this? Okay. A topic that you just love, a topic that you're really interested in, right? And the reason I use the word documentary is because sometimes a course can be like a documentary. Sometimes you're not teaching per se, you're more just explaining or exposing the viewer to something really cool, something new, something exciting, something they just never done before, right? And so a course can either be teaching and training the way we think about it, or it can actually be what I would call more of an information product, where you're giving valuable information about something. Like, for example, you could, and we talked about this the other day, you could research the heck out of a particular locale. Let me give you an example. We used to live in Southern California, and we used to live about 20 minutes away from Disneyland, okay? And my wife had an annual pass. I didn't really have, I did have an annual pass. I just didn't use it as much as my wife did. But she had an annual pass, and she loved to go to Disneyland, and it was her happy place. She would just go there by herself or sometimes with friends, but she really got her money's worth on that annual pass, okay? She went there like she was visiting, another city. My wife knows so much about the little intricacies of Disneyland, where to get the best food, where the hidden restrooms are that don't have long lines, how to get onto the most rides in a day, how to use the system, the fast pass system to get. She was such she is such an expert on that stuff, like how the whole Disneyland system works and how you, if you're a tourist, can get the most out of a day at Disneyland, right? Don't you think people would love to? I mean, even if there isn't a massive market for that, there's still a big enough market to make a six-figure income out of that course, right? Unfortunately, we moved to Idaho. We haven't, really spent much time in Southern California since then. And so we never created that course. I was going to create that course with her. I guess we still could. But there's an example of there should be a documentary about this. What if there was let's call it a training, but it's really more of an informational product, giving you the understanding of Disneyland. What are the best things to get on early? What are the best shows? What's the best way to make the best use of your time? What if you're a family? How do you manage all this stuff? What are the best hotels? All that stuff could be based on either your research or your real experience, or both, right? Because even if she created a course with her amazing vast knowledge, she'd still want to research some things like what are the best hotels and what are the best benefits of being nearby and that kind of thing. So that's where I think of like a documentary type of course, where you're more providing information and not so much training. What this means, by the way, is if you go through this whole questionnaire and you still don't have an idea for a course topic, guess what? You can still create a course. You can still create an informational product, because you can just go, hey, like this next question, maybe you don't have a particular talent or particular skill or experience in something you can create a course on, but you are hugely interested or passionate about something, right? It might be sports, it might be politics, it might be entertainment, fitness, business, finances, lifestyle, home improvement, miscellaneous topics of interest. And you can create a research-driven informational product. Think of that more as a product and less as a course. It's less of a training product and it's more of an informational product. Like, as things hopefully open up really soon and people start traveling more, guess what? You can create courses on travel. You can create courses on visiting a particular destination, and what are all the amenities you can take advantage of there? What are all the great things you can do at these locations and things like that? So I wanted to come on here and just fairly briefly, I just wanted to go over this with you, this document. It's going to be made available to you in the training as well, so that you have access to it. Let me come back here on camera and see what you all have been saying in the chat, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up. But yeah, this has been a fun opportunity just to be able to share. Like I said, my third love, my first love, my wife, my second love, my children, and my third love is information products, online courses. I love this stuff. Okay. And I think you can probably tell that I do love it. Right. So I want to go through some of the questions and just really quickly, just kind of take a look at what we've got here. So people are talking about Canva. Canva is a great way to create your course graphic or your thumbnail for your video and for your course. Dogtown and Z-Boys, originals in the skating industry. Yep. Those are actually these are the legends that I followed, the Dogtown people, the Dogtown guys who were skateboarders in the mid to late 70s. Let's see. What's the name of the mastermind group? There should be a Facebook group for that as well. And let's see. We had training on Friday, and that was in the general mastermind group. So you can look it up there. Let's see what else we've got here. All right, got some comments there. Build Your Brand Challenge Facebook page. Okay, yeah, everybody, you want to go to the Build Your Brand Challenge Facebook page. That's the group where we did a live, and we were able to teach on the framework of how to create your course outline. Now, better than that, though, in my opinion, is the training that we dripped on Tuesday, yesterday. It should already be a part of your plan. Just go into your dashboard and look for it there. And it's called Course Blueprint Secrets. And by the way, we're going to be adding to that every week. So you're going to have more and more advanced stuff as we go. And that's our commitment to serve you and to show you how amazing this business is. So Kirsten says, we are coming from many different points, from Tony Robbins, Dean, and Russell's funnel. So we're all kind of meeting up here, which I think is amazing. And I'm very grateful for that. It is the Build Your Brand Challenge. I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon. Let's see. I don't know, Dave, what is his background? I'll tell you really quick. I'll tell you really quick, Susan. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was 7 years old, when my parents started selling at flea markets and swap meets in Southern California. And pretty much my whole life, I've been an entrepreneur. So got started in real estate investing when I was in my 20s, went into the financial services business. Then I discovered eBay, and eBay blew my mind, got me excited about the online marketing world. And I was so excited that I started making a six-figure income on eBay. And then, by the way, this is when eBay was taking off, right? And then I was discovered, quote unquote, by an infomercial company. We were able to sell my eBay course, my How to Sell on eBay course, for over 11 years on TV. And it was an amazing, amazing opportunity. I was able to help over 700,000 people learn how to sell on eBay and change people's lives, transform people's lives. And it was amazing. In fact, Dean Graciosi's infomercials and my infomercials were running at about the same time, which is really kind of fun fact. And then from there, I got into the online course business big time. And I just started creating course after course after course. I was on a roll. I was addicted. I love the idea of impacting people with my training, with my courses. And I think that once you get the hang of this, you're going to love it too. It's an amazing chance to impact the world and make an impact at the same time, or an income at the same time. And that brings me to here. And now I've created over 80 courses that bring me income from all different sources. There's many different platforms out there, but guess what? Mastermind is the place to be. And I am not just saying that. Wait to see what is planned here and what is happening. It is going to blow your mind. It's going to make a lot of people very well off selling their information, selling their online courses. I'm not saying that. I'm not getting paid to say that. Okay, I'm telling you, as somebody who has his courses on over a dozen platforms already and has over 80 courses that I published, speaking from experience, Mastermind is doing all the things right and none of the bad things wrong. Most online course platforms, let me just give you the lay of the land so you understand this. Most online course platforms will control your price of your course. They take control of your pricing, which is horrible. That means they'll discount your course dramatically. Not only that, but whenever they decide that they're going to drive traffic to your course, which means you make a sale, which is good, right? They're going to take 50 to 75% of the course price. And the other thing, that's number two. The third thing is that you don't get to communicate with your students yourself via email. You've got to communicate using their platform, if at all, which means you don't get to upsell or sell additional courses to them unless it's through their closed system. It's a very closed system. It's a very, I don't know how to put it. It's a very controlled system. Whereas here at Mastermind, guess what? You can charge as much as you want for your course. They keep none of that money, minus a 3% merchant charge for processing the payment. They keep none of that money. No 50% to them, no 75% to them. You keep all of it, okay? And you get your students' email addresses to be able to market other courses to them. And on top of that, they're going to start driving traffic to the site, which means people will potentially find your course, and it's amazing. And it's also a quality platform where you can drive your own people, your own audience to there and feel very proud of having your course on this platform. So that's just the facts. I mean, I'm not selling you anything. I'm telling you the facts. Mastermind is going to be amazing. It already is. And so again, I'm just telling you from my years of experience, both having my courses on multiple platforms and advising companies to do what Mastermind actually is doing. Okay. They don't want to do it that way. They want to do it the Silicon Valley way. Great. Here's 3 smart marketers with Tony, Dean, and Russell who are doing it in a way that serves their customer base, meaning you, the people who are creating courses. They're doing it the right way because they know if they serve their customers will bring even more people in, and it's just going to be amazing for everybody. So long answer to a short question. That's my background. I live, breathe, and eat online courses. I don't know if you can eat them, but I live and breathe them. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, great program. I know people got tons of value on the Build Your Brand program. It's been amazing. So I'm just going to glance through this before we wrap up. Dave's delivery is slow enough that we can absolutely understand his message. Thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that, Paula. Breaks it down perfectly so it's easy to digest with the human ear. And you might think this is funny, but I'm actually talking louder and faster than normal. And that goes to show, this is a very important fact about video. Video sucks out 20% of your energy automatically. So what you need to do is talk faster and louder and do more of this so that it looks normal. Okay. So appreciate that compliment. So, all right, let's see. Just going through here and seeing if there's any questions or anything. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. It's been fun. I love this stuff. I love teaching it. And I hope you got a lot of value. And I hope your mind is starting to understand the many different options and the many different ways that you can create a course on a variety of different topics in a variety of different ways. And as we continue to do these lives, I'm going to go into some of those other ways that you can create courses. So even if you don't think you're an expert, you can still benefit from the online course business, and it's going to be amazing for you. So thanks for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you again. Look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group, the Build Your Brand Facebook group, as well as seeing your courses pop up in mastermind.com. So you can make an impact and you can make an income doing that. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.